Welcome to Educator Guru classes. Under that today we are getting you model question paper of 2022 of first year PUC Business Studies. Many students they asked for it and you have replied, where I am going to get you brief explanation for this paper where detailed answer has been given in the paper, right? You need not worry, right? Everything is what actually well explained and briefly given everything. You can prepare yourself. So before I start the paper, I would like to remind you, those who are not subscribed for this channel, please subscribe and share among your friends, and at the same time encourage the Educator Guru in all respects. Thank you. Let us start model question paper 2022 first year PUC Business Studies. We have written the question also. You need not worry. You can take that in the end of the thing. We will be attaching the question paper. Section A. Name the economic activity in which people are rewarded with salary or wages for their work. Those who are working, what they are called as? They are called as employment. It is called as employment, right? The head of the joint Hindu family business is called proprietor, director, karta, then manager. It is karta. Because it is joint Hindu family, it is called as karta. Give an example of departmental undertakings. You can give any example that is departmental, the railway department, telephone department, postal department, whatever it is called as what actually departmental undertakings. Which act regulates banking services in India? The Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Dash DTH service are provided by transport companies, bank, cellular companies, none of these. It is cellular companies. Cellular companies, they are going to get DTH service are provided. Right? DTH, I need not tell you, you know everything. The sixth question is the payment mechanism most typical to e-business is. E-business means it is electronic business. Cash on delivery, checks, credit and debit cards, e-cash. It is called as what actually e-cash because it is e-business. Now, mention any one type of pollution. Air pollution. Now we have every pollution. Water pollution is there, sound pollution is there. You can write any pollution, one type of pollution. A prospectus issued by a private company, a public company seeking investment from public, a public company, a government company. It is a public company. Answer is public company. A prospectus is issued by a public company. Expand SEBI, SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. Always we call it as SEBI. What is business finance? The requirement of funds by a business to carry out its various activities are called business finance. We are in need of finance, that is from various sources we what actually raise the fund, which is called as business finance. Name one method of factoring, recourse and non-recourse. There are two types. One is recourse, the other one is non-recourse. Now, the 12th question, in which year the MSMED Act was enacted? You must be knowing that what is MSMED, micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises development, MSMED Act name came into force from October 2006. It is now popular. You might have watched even in your the latest budget also. There was a lot of importance has been given for MSME. Now, which type of trader acts as a link between manufacturers and retailers? He is the wholesaler. Wholesaler is the link between the manufacturers and retailers. Give an example for international trade in services. You have several services: international travel and tourism, transportation, banking, warehousing, whatever you call it as, it is called as international trade or actually services. Which of the following document is not required in import procedure? In import procedure, bill of lading, shipping bill, certificate of origin, letter of advice. It is certificate of origin is not what actually required, right? Now, section B. What is business? It is very simple. You said that definition is there, but I'll get you what is business. Any economic activity which motivates a man to earn his livelihood is called as business. That's all. Any economic activity, it motivates a man to earn his livelihood. So everybody wants to earn his livelihood. But as per the definition, business refers to those economic activity which are connected with the production or purchase and sale of goods or supply of services with the main object of earning profit. Right? What is a particular partnership? Particular forum for the accomplishment of a particular project or activity to be carried on for a specific time period is called particular partnership. You have done this partnership for to complete this venture. There ends the matter. That type of partnership is called as particular partnership. State any two features of government company. Government companies have certain characteristics, right? They are which makes from distinct from other forms of organization. Number one, it is an organization created under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous company law, that is 1956. The company can file suit in court of law against any third party and be sued. That means it cannot be escaped. Sued means you can put a case, right? The company can enter into a contract and can acquire property in its own name. The management of the company is regulated by the provisions of the Companies Act like any other republic company. So it is very simple. You have what you call several characteristics. You can take that characteristics and what actually characteristics or features are one and the same. Next question. Give any two differences between goods and services. You know that goods is tangible, whereas services is tangible. That means you can see, but you cannot see. That is tangible and intangible. Goods are purchased, services are experienced, right? It results in ownership, it does not result in ownership. Service, it comes and goes, but goods always results in ownership. 20th. State any two resources required for the successful implementation of e-business. Trained men, computer machines with an internet connection. So most important, if you want to be a successful, then you should have trained men in what actually the e-business. Because untrained, unskilled, no, you cannot do that one. Then what is the social responsibility of business? So this is very, very important. Say, it is called as a CSR, which is called as company's social responsibility. Every company, they do that some social responsibility. As per the act, minimum 2% of their net profit should be spent towards what actually the CSR, that is company's social responsibility. Social responsibility relates to the voluntary effort on the part of the businessman to contribute to the social well-being. Right? You might have seen in so many parks, what do you call the other things which have been maintained by so many companies, which is called as CSR. State any two elements of business ethics. We should have ethics. That what are those two ethics? Top management commitment and publication of code. Say we do like this, we do this, and this is our system. We are supposed to have that code. Next question, give the meaning of minimum subscription. Most important. When you issue shares, then you should have minimum subscription. If you don't get minimum subscription, then you cannot go for what actually allotment. Alright. So we say that only if such persons, what do you call competent theatre, 50% of the persons, if they enter, then we will have a show. That is called as minimum. Likewise here also, according to SEBI guidelines, minimum subscription is 90% of the issue amount. If minimum subscription is not received, then the allotment cannot be made and the application money must be returned to the applicants within 30 days. That is called as minimum subscription. State any two types of preferences, cumulative preferences and non-cumulative preferences. Say, you can say that redeemable preferences and convertible preference shares. They are also called as, what do you mean by the types of preference shares? What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the ability and readiness to develop, organize, and run a business enterprise along with any of its uncertainties in order to make a profit. The most prominent example of entrepreneurship is starting of new businesses, right? Startup, we'll call it as directly startup. We have several, what do you call, businesses like that. What is intellectual property rights? Most important as on today, IPR. Say it is in your mind that something creates, then you are going to create that one and you develop, but you will have that right, you retain your right. That is called as intellectual property rights. The intellectual property right refers to the legal rights regarding intellectual property. Intellectual property refers to the creation of human mind, like inventions, artistic works, etc. The intellectual property is intangible, right? That means it cannot be exactly measurable because it belongs to brain. State any two alternatives available for customers to make payments in mail order business, right? That is, the customers may be asked to make full payment in advance. The goods may be sent by VPP, value payable by cost, right? That is called as, what do you mean by, what do you call that? That is called as the customers to make payments in mail order business. Value payable by post, and we will call it as, value payable by post. Give the meaning of vending machines. Say we have several things. You put coin, you will come to know. Example, you want to know the weight. You will put 2 rupees coin, you will come to know that your weight. We will go to a railway station, you will put coin, then what actually you will get, what actually the platform ticket. Then you will put coin, then you will get milk. You will put coin, you will get paper. Likewise, whatever it is, so many vending machines are there. Vending machines are the newest revolution in marketing methods. Coin operated vending machines are providing useful in selling several products such as hot beverages, platform tickets, milk, soft drinks, etc. in many countries. They are automatic coin operated machines for selling pre-packed products. What is portfolio investment? Most important, it is a popular method of investment. You invest somewhere else so that you will get the return in something different. It may be foreign or it may be within the country or outside the country. Portfolio investment means acquiring or purchasing shares or providing loans to foreign companies and earning income by way of interest or dividend. Mention any two major products which are imported by India. I can easily say today we are seeing that the petrol prices, how it is going up, right? That is petroleum, oil and lubricants, gems and jewelries, capital goods like machinery, then ores and mineral. We are actually major imports that what we are making in India. Now students, section C. Explain briefly the different types of manufacturing industry. From here onwards, I am going to get you what actually gist of it, right? So manufacturing industries are concerned with the conversion of raw material or semi-finished goods into finished goods, right? So they are divided into several categories. That is analytical industry, right, which analyzes and separates different elements from the same material. Example, oil refinery, right? Then if you say that what do you call crude oil, you may produce petrol, you may produce diesel, you may produce gas, whatever it is called as crude oil. Synthetically industry, which combines various ingredients into new products. Example, cement industry. Processing industry, which involves successive stages for manufacturing finished products like sugar, paper industry. Assembling industry, which assembles different component parts to make a new product. Example, car and computer industries. So these are the different types of manufacturing industries. Explain briefly the causes of business risk. I hope without risk nothing is there, right? There are several varieties of business risk is there. One is natural causes, right? The other one is human causes. The other one is economic causes. The other one is other causes. You know that is once we say that Natural, that means it happens without our knowledge. That means it may be heavy rain or it may be some earthquake. That is called as natural causes. Human causes mean it has been like what you call carelessness, negligence, which happens by the human being. That is called as human causes. Economic causes means it is called as uncertainty of what you call your competition, price, or due to any other thing which is called as economic causes. The other causes are they are unforeseen events like political disturbance, then mechanical failures, which is called as what I call other causes. So these are the four causes which we have what you call that is under business risk. Explain any four merits of a sole proprietor forms, sole proprietorship forms of business organization. It is very simple, quick decision making. Yes, because he is the only person he can take quick decision. Confidentiality of information. He need not tell to anybody because he is the owner. He is the owner. Direct incentive. Say he is going to get everything. That's a plus point. Then sense of accomplishment, where he can say that the knowledge of one is responsible for the success of the business, not only if contributes to self-satisfaction, but also instill in the individual sense of accomplishment and confidence in one's ability. Say he is the owner, he knows that what he should do. So these are the what you call advantages of sole proprietorship. Explain any four benefits of e-business. Very simple. E-business is electronic business, right? Ease of a formulation and lower investment requirements. Convenience 24 bar 7 into 365 days, anywhere, anytime, anything. I hope it's an ATM. Speed, fast, internet allows any transaction so that through Google Pay, even when you buy a Pani Puri, I hope you can pay through Google Pay, you pay or you pay through Phone Pay. Global reach access, that is called as customers have completely freedom to choose products from almost any part of the world. So that is the benefits of e-business. Explain briefly any four reasons to justify the need of outsourcing. What is outsourcing? It is very simple. When we talk about the outsourcing, we cannot do, we will give it for somebody. That means on behalf of somebody is doing the work. I think we call it as back end work. That is in all what do you call multinational companies, we have back end work. That means we are working for America, we are working for Australia, we are working for New Zealand, we are working for UK, is all it is there, which is called as what do you mean by focus of attention, right? You may be good at doing so many things in academics, extracurricular activities, yet you would like to be better off of focusing your limited time and money on a just few things for better efficiency and effectiveness. So that is one point. Next point, quest for excellence. You should have that quest. That means I should have that something in my mind that I would like to excel myself the best, which is called as what I call quest for excellence, right? That is the reason to justify what actually outsourcing. If I give it to this person, that person is going to do the best work. That is called as what I quest for. Instead of doing A, I will give it to B. That is called a quest for excellence. Then cost reduction. Most important is cost reduction. Of course, say if I do it in my country only, it may cost 100 rupees. But if I do it outside, it may cost 70 rupees. Then naturally, I will go for outsourcing, right? Then growth through alliance. So when you have that alliance, that means one is attached to another, then it is called as growth through alliance. To the extent you can avail the services of others, your investment requires are reduced. Others have invested in those activities for you. So that means they are also investing, you are also investing. That means you can grow. That is called as growth through alliance. These are the advantages that what we are having. Say, I hope you can see growth through alliance. Here it has been there that you have excellent notes has been given, right? For all of you, you can just go through this, right? Now, the next question is explain briefly any four favorable arguments of social responsibility. Say that is very important. Arguments of social responsibility. We have already done the social responsibility, that is a justification for existence and growth. Say we are supposed to have that, we should justify ourselves that we are here, right? Then long term interest of the firm. Say when you are doing something to the society, then definitely your interest is for towards the firm. Say nobody will do any work without taking any what you call return. So that return is what actually the social responsibility. We are spending on society, but we are getting the growth of the firm. That is called as long term interest of the firm. I hope you can read these things. Now, in the similar fashion, avoidance of government regulation. Business can avoid in problem of government regulation by voluntarily assuming social responsibility. This company is what actually giving some social responsibility to the society. That means it can avoid all what actually the regulations. That means we are not going away from that. Availability of resources with the business. Business has valuable financial and human resources which can be effectively used for solving problems of the society. That's why social responsibility plays the vital role. Now, now explain the social responsibility of business towards workers or employees. Say, on the other way, now we are going for the next question, that is for the towards the workers or employees. So what is that you are going to get? The responsibility of business towards workers or employees, providing for composition and benefits, providing good and safe working conditions to develop a sense of belongingness. That means when we take care of our what do you call the employees, then definitely that is also part of what actually our social responsibility. Not only the society, because workers or employees, they are also part of the society, but they are working under us. There we are supposed to take care of them. Explain any four clauses of memorandum of association. I hope you know that when you want to start a public company, there are two important things that have to provide. That is, one is memorandum of association, the other one is articles of association, right? But for a public company, memorandum of association is a must for both private and public company. Articles of association in case of public company, that even they can follow the article A. But here it is very simple. Memorandum of association plays the vital role. You have to say that name class, situation class, object class, right? So that means the name of the company should be mentioned. Situation, that is where it has been what actually situated. Then object, what you are doing, that you have to define. Then liability class. What is the liability? That means it is going to say that what is the limit that the shareholders they have, that is called as what I say limited, that is liability class. Then this class specifies the maximum capital which company will be authorized to raise, right? So these are the very important factors that we have to write. Now next, write short notes on public deposits, commercial papers. Say public deposit, a deposit that are raised by organizations directly from the public are known as public deposit. Rates of interest offered on public deposits are usually higher than that offered on bank deposits. Say if the banks are giving 6%, you are going to give 7% or 6.5%. That means you can say that in case of what you call LIC, you have 7.25%, 7.4%. Likewise, it is there. That is called as accepting deposit for a long term. Commercial papers is for short term. It is for short term of 90 days to 64 days. Commercial paper is a unsecured promissory note issued by a firm to raise funds for a short term period varying from 90 days to 364 days. It is issued by one firm to other business firms, insurance company, pension funds, and what actually banks. So these are called as what do you mean by public deposit and commercial papers. Next question. Explain briefly the merits of debentures as a source of business finance. I hope debentures, you know, it is borrowed capital. It is called as what actually borrowed capital. In financial structures, we have capital that is called as two things. One is share capital, the other one is borrowed fund, which is called as debentures. Investment is safe. Debentures are preferred by those investors who do not want to take risk and are interested in fixed income. So you know that it 10% debentures, 12% debentures, 6% debentures, 8% their income is fixed. Whereas in case of dividend, it is not fixed, right? Next, control. Debenture holders do not have any voting right. They don't get any voting right because they are not shareholders. They are only financiers, right? Less costly. Debentures are less costly as compared to cost of preference holders, right? Then it is also called as tax saving. Most important, tax saving. That is, interest on debentures is a tax deductible expense. Therefore, there is a tax saving for what actually debentures. Next question. Explain briefly any 4 points which highlight the role of small business in India. Which highlights the role of small business in India. The small role that is of business India are small industries India accounts 95% of the industrial units in the economy. Small industries are the second largest employees of human resource after agriculture. Small industries are the best suited for customized production, that is designing product as per the taste, preferences, needs of individual customers. Small industries enjoy advantage of low cost of production, locally available or less expensive. So this is the industry, most beautiful industry which we are enjoying in India is small scale industry. But you know that due to corona, these industries have suffered a lot during the past 2 years. Explain briefly the different types of itinerant itinerant retailers, that is called as peddlers and hawkers, which you have studied in your what do you call uh, 8th standard and 9th standard in your civics. Peddlers and hawkers are probably amongst the oldest forum retailers in the marketplace who have not lost their utility even during the modern times. They are small producers or petty traders who carry products on a bicycle, a hand cart, a cycle rickshaw, or on their heads and move from place to place and sell their merchandise at the doorstep of the customers. I hope you can see this one even in your daily life, that is in front of your house, that is called as the vegetable vendors will come, right? Toy persons will come and so many type of persons that come, they come and they what actually do the things, that is called as what do you mean peddlers and hawkers. Market traders. Market traders are small retailers who open their shops at different places on fixed or dates, such as Saturday or alternative Sunday and so on. Say you know that it is called as Sunday Bazaar. We call it as Sunday Bazaar, Saturday Bazaar or Holiday Bazaar. They are called as what do you mean by market traders. They open only on certain days which they are there. Then street traders, payment what actually vendors. Street traders are small traders who are economically found at places where huge floating population gathers. For example, near railway station and bus stand and sell consumer items of common use such as stationery items, then eatables, ready-made, right? Garments, newspapers, magazines. It is you can see so many things what actually that is near the streets, right? Right, that is we can see those things. Cheap jacks. Cheap jacks are the petty trailers who have independent shops for a temporary nature and in a business locality. They keep on changing their business from one locality to another locality depending upon the potentiality of the area. So these are all called as what actually the retailers. Explain briefly any four features of departmental store. You might have seen the departmental stores, right? Under one roof where you are going to get every type of or all types of items. A modern department store may provide all facilities such as restaurant, travel and information bureau, telephone booth, restrooms, etc. As such, they try to provide maximum service to a higher class of customers for whom prices of a secondary importance. These stores are generally located at a central place in the heart of a city, which caters to a large number of customers. A departmental store combines both the functions of retailing as well as warehousing. They purchase directly from manufacturers and operate separate warehouses. That way, they help eliminating undesirable middlemen between the producers and the customers. As the size of these stores is very large, they are generally formed as a joint stock company managed by board of directors. They are managing directors assisted by general manager and several departmental managers. So this is what you call features of a departmental store. 44th question, explain briefly any four benefits of international business to nations, right? It is earning foreign exchange, earning foreign exchange, right? International business helps a country to earn foreign exchange, which can later use for meeting its imports of capital goods, technology, petroleum products and fertilizers. Second one, more efficient use of resources, right? When we have do that, what I call a international business, whatever that we have that can be used effectively, right, efficiently, right? As stated earlier, international business operates on a simple principle: produce what your country can produce more efficiently and trade the surplus production so generated with other countries to procure what they can produce more efficiently. When countries trade on this principle, they end up producing much more than what they can when each of them attempts to produce all the goods and services on its own. I can easily say that. Say, when you have what do you call, assuming you are producing wheat, your country needs of what do you call 100 tons. You are producing 140 tons. Then what we'll do? We will 40 tons will be exported. You take onion. You are producing what you call 1000 tons. Where the requirement of the country is 900, you can what actually export. That is called as, what do you mean by, we are doing not only business in India or within the country, we are doing business outside the country also. Improving growth prospects and employment potentials. Most important, the producing solely for the purpose of domestic consumption severely restricts a country prospects for growth and employment. Many countries, especially the developing ones, could not execute their plans to produce on a larger scale and thus create employment for people because of their domestic market was not large enough to absorb all the extra production. Later on, a few countries such as Singapore, South Korea, China saw markets for their products in foreign country, embarked upon the strategy export and flourish, and soon became the star performance on the world map. This helped them not only improving their growth prospects but also created opportunity for employment of people living in these countries. You see that when you go for international business, it gets you what you call not only exporting, but you are getting employment for so many persons. That means that rate will, unemployment rate will be reduced and you will be encouraging for the different business. Increased standard of living. In the absence of the international trade of goods and services, it would not have been possible for the world community to consume goods and service produced in other countries that the people in these countries are able to consume and enjoy a higher standard of living. That means where they are not in a position to produce anything, but they are getting from that. That means any excess, always it goes like that. That is called as, what do you mean by, between the two different countries change with exchange, things will keep on going, right? Students, now section D. What are cooperative societies? Explain the types of cooperative societies. So now I have to write lengthy answers. So you can just go through the answer, just I will be explaining the concepts. According to the Indian Cooperative Societies Act 1912, cooperative organization is a society which has its objectives for promotion of economic interest of its members in accordance with cooperative principles. The main aim of cooperative society is for the people to buy the goods at the least cost. So it helps the society in larger interest. So that is called as what do you mean by cooperative society. They have asked the different types of what actually cooperative societies. Say you have several cooperative societies: consumer cooperative society, producers cooperative society, marketing cooperative society, farmers cooperative society, credit cooperative society, and cooperative housing societies. Now, when you have several types of what you call societies, the first one is consumer. When you say consumer, it is called as what the interest of the consumers, that you buy what actually goods in bulk and what actually sell it to your members. That is called as consumer cooperative society. That means the members of the cooperative society, they consume the goods with least cost. That means the cooperative society buys in large scale. Then producer cooperative society. This society is composed of to protect interest of small producers and set up provide the supplying of raw materials, equipment, other inputs to the members and buying their output for sale. Profits among the members are distributed on the basis of their contribution to the society. That means they buy what actually they encourage small what actually producers. Then such societies, they are called as what actually producers cooperative society. Next, that is marketing cooperative society. What is marketing cooperative society? These societies help the small producers who wish to obtain reasonable prices for their output, right, and want to market their products. Say then what happens actually? They are going to encourage market. Say marketing is a big word, but it will be done with what actually with the cooperative society. So its members jointly perform marketing functions like transportation, warehousing, packaging, etc. to sell the output at the best possible price, and profits are distributed according to each member's contribution, right? Next, farmers cooperative society. Farmers means you know that for the sake of a farmer only you have built up one society. So right, in this only we have what actually members as farmers. Their activities benefits a large scale of farming, increasing productivity. That means what all that they are in need by the farmers, that will be done by that society, which is called as farmers cooperative society. Then next one is credit cooperative society. So credit cooperative society is formed to provide credit on reasonable terms to the members. That means you would like to give what actually the loan, right, at low interest rate, right. So that is called as credit cooperative society. You might have seen many societies like this. When you walk around the what you call in the town, you will see such type of what actually the society, that is called as credit cooperative society. Then credit cooperative society, later on it becomes what actually credit cooperative bank also, right. So that is one more concept. Then the one more type is called as cooperative housing society. So that means you would like to have what actually more what you call housing societies. People with a low income can construct what actually houses at a reasonable cost. For that they give what actually loan. So in easy installment. Then such type of societies, they are called as what actually cooperative housing society. So these are the types of what actually that is cooperative societies. Next question is very easy. Explain features, that is characteristics of a joint stock company, which you are studying right from what actually SSLC, where you have what actually in your history, civics and other things. It is called as, there are several features of a joint stock company: artificial person, separate legal entity, formation, perpetual succession, control, liability, common seal, risk bearing. So it is very simple. When you say artificial person, it is created out of law. That is why it is called as what actually artificial person. Separate legal entity, where you have a separate identity, that is called a legal entity, is called a separate identity for joint stock company. It should be registered under the Act of 1956, separate legal entity. Formation is a time consuming, expensive, complicated process. Registration of a joint stock company is compulsory. As I said earlier, it is according to 1956, right? Perpetual succession. So in case of partnership or in case of a sole trading concern, the person dies, for time being it will be closed. But in case of a joint stock company, it is not like that. It will be continuously, it will be going on without any disturbance that will not affect what actually your company's progress, right? Perpetual succession, it will be keep on going. Control. So you will have full control because management and control affairs of the company is undertaken by the board of directors. Whereas in case of what actually partners, in case of sole trading concern, only proprietor, but here it is board of directors and the top management will take that what actually they take into action. That means they will have full control what they have to do, what they should not do. Next, it is liability. So you need not worry about the liability. Liability of members is what actually limited to the extent of capital what they have contributed. Beyond that, nothing will be there. Assuming that I have taken 1000 shares of 10 rupees each. 1000 into 10, it comes to what actually 10,000 rupees. If the company goes for liquidation, my liability will be extended to only the 10,000, it is gone. But in case of partnership, in case of sole trading concern, it is not like that. Sometimes it becomes unlimited, but that is not there what actually in joint stock company. Common seal. Say here for all artificial persons you have only one common seal. That means that is company seal will be indicating this is the company. The company being an artificial person acts through its board of directors. So everybody put their seal, that is called as common seal for the joint stock company, but that is not there in case of particular partnership. Then risk bearing. The risk of losses of a company is borne by all the shareholders. They have to take it, whether I like it or not, because we have what actually appointed board of directors. They take some decision. That decision may sometimes be wrong, sometimes it may be right. When it goes wrong, then the question is that the risk bearing will be there. That's why board of directors plays the vital role, right? That plays what actually very, very important. Whereas in partnership, it is not like that. Say they oppose, but here it is not that. Board of directors, that means they have to take that what actually the risk, right? That means it will be for the shareholders, right? So these are the important features of what actually joint stock company. Next question. Briefly explain any 4 merits and 4 limitations of statutory cooperation. So it is statutory corporation is what you call statutory is independent, right? It is run by what actually the law, separate law. The form of organization enjoys certain advantages in working. They enjoy independence in their functioning and high degree of operational flexibility, right? And since the funds of the organization do not come the central budget, right, the government generally does not interfere in the financial matters, including their income and receipts, right? So statutory companies will not get anything from that. That means they work independently. Since they are autonomous, statutory is always what actually autonomous. You can say it is a CA Institute is autonomous, right? So since they are autonomous organization, they frame their own policies and procedures within the powers assigned to them by the act, right? So that is one more advantage. A statutory company is valuable instrument for economic development. The most important, when you say that it is economic development in all respects, that it gets you the benefit for the country, right? Because it takes individual decision and it is a statutory body, separate body. It has the power of government combined with the initiative of private enterprises. This type of organizations suffer from several limitations. They are, in reality, statutory corporation does not enjoy as much operational flexibility as stated above. All actions are subject to many rules and regulations. When they are independent, yes, you can do, but you have your own what actual limitation. You cannot work like any other company. Government and political influence always will be there. The major decisions are wherever huge funds are involved. Example, you take that anything that to be changed in CA, then that will be passed in the parliament, right? Likewise here also the major change that in the statutory, that will be what actually from the government. That means you have to, where there is a dealing with public, rampant corruption exists. That means all of a sudden that you may face that one problem from the public. That means they deal in different ways. The government has a practice of appointing advisor to the corporation board. This curbs the freedom of corporation, right? So when they appoint, we will not be knowing what type of advisor that person's. Then that is an what you call disadvantage from the point of view of a statutory operations. Next question. Explain the principles of insurance. Most important. So many times we have one main what you call meaning difference between insurance and assurance. Say here we are talking about insurance, but assurance is also there. Insurance is it may happen or may not happen is called as insurance. Assurance is a definite thing which is going to happen. Example, the death of a person is 100% sure. That means it is called as life assurance. But here we are talking about principles of insurance. That means when we go for what actually our products, right, house and whatever all transactions, whatever you take insurance for anything, right, in that you have to follow certain what actually principles. So it may happen or it may not happen, but there should be what you call the big agreement between the two parties. One is insurer, the other one insured, right? So under that there are several things which is called as utmost good faith, insurable interest, indemnity, proximity cause, subrogation, then contribution and mitigation. Say these are all most important. When you go for insurance, you should have a faith in that. If you do not have faith, then you cannot do anything, right? Then you should believe. When you believe that one, then you can take that one risk and then go for actually insurance. I hope in all things that we are going for actually insurance. Next, insurable interest. The insurable interest must be in the subject matter of insurance. One fundamental fact of this principle is that it is not a house, ship, machinery, potential liability of life that is insured, but it is pecuniary interest of the insured in them, which is insured. That means I should have that what you call interest, then only I can go for it. That they will not specify, but you have to take that one. Next, indemnity. So what is indemnity? All insurance contracts, fire or marine insurance, are contracts of indemnity. According to it, the insurer undertakes to put insured in the event of loss in the same position that he occupied immediately before the event of the insured against. In other words, the insurer undertakes to compensate the insured for the loss caused to him or her due to damage or destruction of a property insured. The compensation payable and loss suffered are to be measured in terms of money. The principle of indemnity is not applicable to life insurance. Say indemnity is only one thing that you have to say that this is the thing that will be measurable. Then it will be done. Say example, you have lost one check, right? You have to give indemnity bond, right? If you find that check, then you should not withdraw it. So that is why it is called as directly indemnity. Likewise, here also you are supposed to give one of the principles. It is called as indemnity. Proximity cause. What is proximity cause? Proximity means it is near. According to this principle, an insurance policy is designed to provide compensation only for such losses as are caused by perils which are stated in the policy. Whatever it has been stated, say nearby, these are the things, for this we are going to get what actually insurance, right? So that is called as that the cause must be nearing to the principles which has been adopted by the insurance company, right? Next, subrogation. So subrogation is a very one thing which is called as, it refers to the right of the insurer to stand in the place of insured after the settlement of a claim. As far as the right of insured in respect of recovery from an alternative source is involved. After the insured is compensated for the loss or damage to the property insured by him or her, the right of the ownership of such property passes on to the insurer. This is because insurer should not be allowed to make any profit. Insurance is not actually profit making organization. It is what actually giving service. By selling the damaged property or in case of lost property being recovered. So you must be very careful. You should not do such thing. That is called as what actually subrogation. Then next one is contribution. As per the principle, you must be doubly careful in this, where you might have taken what actually double insurance in that case, but you are not supposed to go for it. That is, as per the principle, it is the right of the insurer who has paid a claim under insurance company to call upon their liable insurers to contribute for the loss of payment. It implies that in case of double insurance, the insurance to share the losses in proportion to the amount assured by each of them. In case there is a loss, when there is more than one policy on the same property, the insured will have no right to recover more than the full amount of his actual loss. I have double insurance, I will claim from here also, I will claim from there. No, that is impossible. To the extent of what loss is there from both, you can claim only to that extent, not more than that. That is called as contribution. Mitigation. Say this is what you call very important. The principle state that it is the duty of the insured to take reasonable step, minimize the loss or damage to the insured property. Say something fire is going on, let it go for long time. No. You are supposed to take precautionary measures, right? Then you say that as far as possible, the damage should be what actually minimized and save your property. For that, the act says that, right? They minimize the loss or damage. The insured must behave in a great prudence and not to be careless just because there is an insurance cover. Let it go, no problem, I have it. No. That negligence will not be accepted by the insurance company. That is called as what actually mitigation. So these are the important points or principles of insurance. Next, 49th question. What is warehousing? What is warehousing? Explain the functions of warehousing. So warehousing is very important and most conceptual context, because when you produce product in large quantity, then you are supposed to keep those quantities somewhere else before it is distributing to what actually so many consumers, correct? So when you what pile up all those what you call products in one place, that for that we need what actually warehousing, right? So it is just like that. In a house you have a fridge, in that you will put all vegetables and what you call flowers, everything, and milk one side, that you will all store for how many days? For one day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days you will keep it. But that is for house. But when you want to keep such thing what you call for many products, then you are in need of what actually warehousing. So when you have warehousing, the question arises that warehousing was initially viewed as a provision of static unit for keeping and storing goods in scientific and systematic manner so as to maintain their original quality. I hope I gave the example of fridge. Value and usefulness, but it is viewed as a logistical service provider of the right quantity at the right place in the right time, in the right physical forum at the right cost. Example, we don't use all products throughout the year. Example, if you take a umbrella, you may use umbrella when you will use umbrella in what you call rainy season, or when it is very hot, that is in the summer. When it is what you call winter, you don't use it. But they keep on producing throughout the year. But you have to keep that product intact, that is in the warehouse. That is why we are in need of warehouse, right? So they have asked to explain the functions of warehousing. The functions of warehousing are discussed below. Consolidation, right? That means you will collect from different producers and keep it in one place, and what actually you will start distributing. In this function, warehouse receives consolidated materials or goods from different production plant and dispatches the same to a particular customer on a single transportation shipment. Next one is break the bulk. Say when you have so much of what you call quantity, then you have to divide it. That is called as break the bulk. The warehouse performs the function of dividing the bulk quantity of goods received from the production plant to smaller quantity. Assuming you have 1 kg of coffee powder, then a person comes and he needs only 250 grams, then he will break it and give it 250. Then other person comes, he'll say ask 500 grams, he will say. So likewise here also, whatever that the customers they are in need, we are going to break up. Where I have given the chart also, that is plant A, plant B, plant C, that is consolidation warehouse, and it will give A, B, C, right? Then likewise plant A, break bulk warehouse, customer A, customer B, customer C, right? Now the next part is called as stock piling. That means where the warehousing is a seasonal storage. I think I explained you first only. Seasonal storing of goods to select businesses. Goods are raw materials which are not required immediately. I told you that. I have given you example of already umbrella, right? So the demand will be somewhere else. So agricultural products which are harvested at specific times with subsequent consumption throughout the year also need to be stored and released in lots. Then value added service. Certain value added services are also provided by the warehouses, such as transit mixing, packaging and labeling. So that means we are not only keeping the goods, we are going to get you packaging, we are going to have that labeling, we are going to get transit. Transit means conveying the goods from one place to another place, which is called as transit, right? Transit mixing. Everything will be done, that is called as value added services. Then price stabilization. By adjusting the supply of goods with the demand situation, warehousing performs the function of stabilizing the prices. Stabilizing means there should not be much change, right? That will be done. Thus prices are controlled when supply is increasing and demand is slack, and vice versa. Financing. Warehousing owners advance money to the owners on security of goods and further supply on credit terms to customers. That means where they are going to get you what you call finance also, because everybody cannot have such big finance. That will also be given by the warehouses, that is especially to the customers, right? So these are the functions of warehousing. Next. Students, I have given you the chart also. Plant A, plant B, plant C. In transit mix over, transit mixing point, then product D, A, B, C, D, customer W, customer X, A, B, C, D, customer Y, A, B, C, customer Z, A, B. Whatever that they are in need, that we are going to make that system, that is possible with the warehousing. So next question is 50th question. Explain the merits and limitations of equity shares of a source of business finance. Students, pray God you get this question, because it is very easy to write. This is on equity shares. So when your company issues equity shares, then what are the plus points, what are the minus points? Even warehousing was very easy. All questions are easy, but only one thing is while writing how you are going to write. So merits, permanent capital. Equity is permanent. Equity means right, which is also called as ordinary. So it is important source of finance. Without the capital, you cannot run any business. No charge on assets. That is, for raising funds by issue of equity shares, a company does not need to mortgage its assets. Higher returns. Say ultimately whatever the dividend that you are going to, everything will be given to equity shareholders. So shareholders get higher returns in the years of higher profit. That is high profit. Next, control. They have the right to vote and they right to participate in the management. That means they will have full control, because they are the participants, because they are the owners. No burden on the company. Payment of equity dividend is not compulsory. If you earn profit, you will get. If you don't earn, you need not worry. So that is why for plus point, plus and minus, we can call it as advantage or disadvantage. It is advantage for the company, it is a disadvantage for the investor, right? Likewise, demerits. Demerits of equity shares. Risk. It is very, very important. If the company goes what actually loss, then whatever the amount that you have paid, it will go in vain. Equity shareholders bear higher risk because payment of equity dividend is not compulsory. Higher cost of equity shares is greater than the cost of preference shares. Delay. Issue of equity shares is time consuming. You know that we have done that one, that is minimum subscription. I hope you remember. Minimum 90% it is there, minimum subscription. Then only you can allot shares. Otherwise it is not possible. So till that time you cannot. So such a thing it is called as demand is must be there. It is issue of equity shares is what actually time consuming. The next one is issue depends on the share market conditions, because you have to read the person's what do you call market per and what do you call their mentality, right? So that decides that whether is it the right time to issue shares or not. Equity shareholders are primary risk bearers, therefore the demand for equity shares are in the boom time. Not always we should see and issue the shares, right? So these are the plus points and minus points of equity shares. Next question. This is also a very, very easy question. That is, I just go through it. Who is a wholesaler? Explain the services of wholesaler to manufacturers. Wholesaler to manufacturer. Wholesaler is one person who is the link between the manufacturers and the ultimate what you call retailers, right? Because he buys in large quantities and supplies to retailers in small quantities. Because retailers, he will buy in small quantities and in that smaller quantity will be given to the consumers, right? So wholesaler trader refers to buying and selling of goods and services in large quantity for the purpose of resale for intermediate use. Wholesaler is a person who buys goods from the producers in bulk quantity and sells them in small quantity to retailers. So what are the advantages? Say the advantages are facilitating large scale production. Those who are producing large scale production, say they buy what actually goods immediately. Now manufacturer need not what actually scratch their head, because they will buy and they pull it and they will sell it to whom actually the retailers, and retailers ultimately to the consumers. Next, bearing risk. The wholesaler merchant deal in goods in their own name, take delivery of the goods and keep the goods purchased in large lots in their warehouse, assuming that the retailers will buy. The market will not come down. That means you have to take that what actually certain type of risk. That risk is there in what actually the services from wholesaler to manufacturer. Financial assistance. The wholesalers provide financial assistance to the manufacturers in the sense that they generally make cash payment for the goods purchased by them. To that extent, manufacturer need not block their capital in stock. That means once they buy that, that means he will pay the amount, because the finance will be done by wholesaler and manufacturer will have that will not have that headache, right? Expert advice. As the wholesaler are in the direct contact with the retailers, they are in the position to advise the manufacturer about various aspects including customers' taste and preferences, market conditions, competitive activities, and the features preferred by the buyers. Today I can easily say that what is marketing means, it is called as customer is the king, right? We want this type of product, now they are going to convert. Say there is one beautiful saying is there, convert the need of the customer into product. Convert the need of the customer into product is called as what actually the modern marketing. Likewise, that will be done by a wholesaler to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will have direct contact with the retailers or ultimate consumer, that the wholesaler will have such item. So that link will provide the, he will get you the expert advice. Then help in marketing functions. The wholesaler take care of distribution of goods to a number of retailers who in turn sell goods to large number of customers spread over large geographical area. This relieves manufacturer from many of the marketing activities and enables them to concentrate on the production activity. That means manufacturer need not scratch his head for anything. All these things will be done by what actually? By the wholesaler. right? Then facilitate production continuity. Say, he will not say that it will not be disturbed. You produce, then we will say that we will take the other activities on our own. So, production activity throughout the year by purchasing the goods as and when these are produced and storing them till the time these are demanded by the retailers or consumers in the market. You know that for this the link is warehousing, right? They buy and keep products in the warehouse, right? Storage. Wholesalers take delivery of goods when they are produced in factories, right? And keep them in their godown or warehouses. I think I have just told you this reduces the burden of the manufacturer of providing storage facility for the finished products. Once he produces, he need not worry, the wholesaler will take and he will take care of everything. So these are the advantages that what we have, that is our service which has been given by the wholesaler to the manufacturers. Then 52nd question, explain the steps followed in export trade up to obtaining excise clearance. So most important concept, say in import and export, you have to be very careful, because one question definitely which appears as far as possible, even when I was a student also, I remember that I have written, I think, import trade, what actually obtaining, right? Say either import or export, that is steps will come for your examination. So in this model question paper, they have asked for actually export. Say receipt of inquiry and sending quotation. So that means that is the first step. That means you will get what actually prospective buyer. That means he is going to buy. So he is going to ask so many things. What is that? What is the quality? What is the terms? Then how I should do? All these things that should be answered properly. So exporter can be informed on such a inquiry even by way of advertisement in the press, put it in the importers. So exporter sends reply to the inquiry in the form of what actually the quotation. They referred as a pro forma invoice. What is the difference between invoice and pro forma invoice? Pro forma invoice is not a regular invoice. It is just one thing which has been done. That means these are the things sellable at this price, but that is not the actual invoice. After some time, it becomes regular invoice. So the pro forma contains information about the price which the exporter is ready to sell the goods. And also provides information about the quality, grade, size, weight, mode of delivery, type of packing and payment terms, etc. The next one is receipt of order or intent. Then you are going to get what actually in case of a prospective buyer, that is importing firm, finds the export price and other terms of conditions acceptance. That is called as what you may receipt of order or intent. Then assessing importers credit worthiness. So very important, one who is taking that one, then whether he is capable of buying and he is capable of making payment, that we have to be very careful. For that we are supposed to take letter of credit. Letter of credit, most important. Letter of credit is a guarantee issued by the importers bank that will be honor payment up to a certain amount of export bills to the bank of the exporter, because you have not seen that party, right? You must be very careful. Then you have to take that letter of credit, right? Then obtaining export license. So it is not a risky one, where you have to follow certain procedures as per the government, then fulfill that what actually the procedure, then you can what actually take the export license. For that I have given you few steps. That is, for getting an export license are as follows: opening a bank account in any bank authorized by Reserve Bank of India, obtaining import export code IEC, right, number from the Directorate General Foreign Trade or Regional Import Export Licensing Authority, registering with the appropriate Export Promotion Council, registering with Export Credit and Guarantee Corporations, and in order to safeguard against risk of non-payments. So I have written like this. Say they may ask in 1 mark question, expand RBI, expand IEC, expand DGFT, so expand ECGC. Say you just write it so that you will come to know what is IEC means. Obtaining, that is called as what you know, import export code. What is DGFT? Directorate General Foreign Trade. What is ECGC? That is called as, what do you mean by Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation, right? So this includes two things. One is 1 mark question, the other one is the 12, that is 10 marks question is also there. Next, obtaining pre-shipment finance. Say you are supposed to obtain the pre-shipment finance. Once a confirmed order and letter of credit have been received, the exporter approaches his banker for obtaining pre-shipment finance to undertake export production, right? So these are the very important basic things that you have to what actually follow while doing what actually the export procedure. Export procedure, you can say that one more day, pre-shipment inspection. That means before getting to that you can have what actually inspection, clarify yourself what is there as per the act, it is there or not, you inspect it, and whatever it has been ordered, it is in the right way or not, right? These are the things that you have to confirm yourself. So these are called as, what do you mean by the steps to be followed while going for export, right? So these are all section D answers. Now the last part of your question paper is section E, practical oriented question. Assuming that you are a businessman, what benefits do you enjoy by entering into joint venture? Joint venture is a temporary partnership, right? It will be done for a particular venture. Once the venture is over, then your partnership will also come to an end, right? So what are the benefits that I have given? They have to write that benefit. Increased resources and capacity, access to new markets and distribution networks, access to technology, innovation, low cost of production, established brand name. These are the advantages that what you have what actually entering into the joint venture. Next question. As an online buyer, mention any in 5 informative intensive products that can be delivered electronically into your computer. That means you have to get the online buyer, that is called as cloud computing, social media, mobile phones, camera, sensors. I hope now we are doing this particular thing, that is our study is through social media, that is through YouTube channel, right? So likewise they asked, what is that? As an online buyer, mention any 5 information intensive products that can be delivered electronically into your computer. Cloud computing, social media, mobile phones, camera, as well as sensors. Next question. As a promoter, state 5 important documents to be prepared for incorporation of a joint stock company. We have already discussed the same thing is there: memorandum of association, articles of association, prospectus statement in lieu of prospectus, not required in case of private company, copy of import agreements, statutory declaration in form I, then copy of letter of registration indicating approval of name, then power of attorney. So these are the things that you have to write. It is very simple. Then 56th question and last question. As an aspirant of doing international business, what different methods of entry into international business do you find? As an aspirant, that means you are the aspirant that you would like to go for it. Then export and import, joint venture, licensing and franchising, contract manufacture, wholly owned subsidiary. So these are the modes of different things that you can go forward into international business. So this is very, very important. So I have given you the gist of, in not full gist of the all questions answers which is there here. Students, you just go through it. In the similar fashion, you refer the previous another 2-3 question papers. You will become thorough so that you can answer in your exam very easily, right? So one small thing is there. If you are really in need of this copy, right, you mail to us so that we can send you the PDF, right? That is, if you are in need of it, right, then you can just mail to us, that is our educator@gmail.com, that you can say that, then we will send you the PDF, right? Then those who have not subscribed for this channel, kindly subscribe for this channel and share among your friends. I wish all students all the best for your exams. Thank you.